Hey, what's going on, guys? It's BaLLHaWK here to take you through the team that I put together for my first round matchup in the IPA playoffs. Give you guys a little rundown. This week we're going up against Astrius, coach of the Clutch City Cacturns. This is one of the coaches that we played earlier on in the season, and we ended up losing this match 0-2. There were a couple of unlucky breaks that we got in that matchup where had maybe a few things gone our way, maybe one less Draco Meteor miss, maybe things would have come out in our favor, but they didn't, and nonetheless we were able to battle our way back into the playoffs, and here we are. So no use crying over spilt milk there. Here we are on a 6-game win streak after winning last week. We finished the regular season at 7-4 with a +5 differential. Differential's not the best. However, I think the biggest thing to take away from my play this season is the fact that we started off 1-4. We had a very rocky start out of the gates to the season, and the fact that we've gone on a 6-game win streak and beaten a team that was at the time the top team in the league with the 2 top kill leaders in this division, and we won that game. I think that kind of speaks volumes, and I think just the resilience that I've shown and kind of proved to myself that hey, things might not start off right or very well, but it doesn't mean you can't battle your way back. Just stick with it and trust. Sounds a little cliche, but trust the process, and this is why we do things. This is fun. This kind of makes it mean a little more. So I'm excited about this matchup. I'm nervous, and I guess let's just start getting into the team. So you can see my team on top, same team that I've used for the past couple of matches that I've recorded for the IPA. On the bottom, you can see the Clutch City Cacturns roster. He's featuring Libero Cinderace. Yes, we do allow Libero in this league. I'm not sure I like it, but I know that if I had it, I would enjoy the hell out of it, so it is what it is. And he's got Rotom, Klefki, Alolan, Muck, Eldegoss, Clefairy, Mega DNC, Latias, Gliscor, Poliwrath, and Kangaskhan. Now, the last time we played, he did not have Klefki and he did not have Poliwrath. Instead, he had Caparaja, and I don't remember what his last slot was taken up by. However, the major threats on his team, ones that kind of hurt us the most last game, were definitely Latias, Cinderace, and Rotom Wash. And I don't think I want to change too much from what I brought last time. I just want to, change a few things around, tweak the Pokemon a little bit. But I think for the most part, I liked the team that I built last time, just not necessarily those same sets. So without further ado, let's start getting into the team that we built for today's matchup. Starting off the roster, we have Mewgirl holding a Koba Berry. And I wanted to go with, I was trying to figure out how could I best accent Mew against my opponent this week. I haven't really used it to the best of its abilities yet. However, I'm hoping this is the week that we finally turn that around. I was initially going to go with a Cosmic Power Stored Power set. However, one of my friends, Dawson, shout out to Dawson in the IPA, he kind of pointed out that that set is majorly walled by Muck and Klefki, which are 2 Pokemon that I'm kind of counting on him bringing. I'm not entirely sure what he's going to bring ultimately. I do think it's going to be consisted of something sort of like Cinderace, Rotom Wash, Mega DNC, Latias, Gliscor, and then either Muck or Klefki. Last time he did bring Eldegoss, and it had the annoying Cotton Down ability, which, if you don't know, as soon as Eldegoss is hit by an attack, it doesn't have to be physical, it can be physical or special. It lowers all the Pokemon speed. All the Pokemon in the field of play, it lowers their speed by 1. So that kind of caught me off guard last matchup, and ultimately it kind of led to a few things that it stopped us from being able to do what I wanted. So I would not be surprised if he brought Eldegoss again either. However, I think he's going to bring Rotom Wash, Cinderace, Mega DNC, Latias, Gliscor, and probably I think it's probably going to be Muck as a 6th Pokemon. But the moves that I'm going to use on Mew this week are Dragon Dance, Earthquake, Leaf Blade, and Ice Punch. I'm going to go with the more physical sweeping set instead of the Cosmic Power set. I thought about the Imprison, Transform, Block, However, that seems a little gimmicky this week, and his team is pretty offensive for that. That's typically going to be used on something where you have a teammate that has a lot of bulk, I believe, and that just doesn't shine in this matchup. So the goal with Mew this week is, we got enough speed EVs to outspeed Gliscor, enough defense HPs plus and max HP, no, not max HP, but enough HP and defense EVs plus a Koba Berry to live a U-turn and a Sucker Punch from Cinderace. The goal here is to whittle his team down a little bit, get a little bit of chip on everything, and then at that point Mew can come in, just click Dragon Dance once, and outspeed everything, and he's going to be doing more than enough to kind of clean up the field of play at that point. So the goal is to whittle things down and let Mew come in and just kind of clean the game up for us. And a big teammate that's going to be helping Mew out with that is our next Pokemon in Manny, building a Pasho Berry with the Thick Fat ability. I think, this is another thing that Dawson kind of pointed out to me, that I don't necessarily need to run. I think one of the things that gave me issues last time in my matchup against him is I had two choice users. I had Hydreigon and Mamoswine, and having two choice users kind of locked me into some moves where I wasn't in the greatest position. So I'm opting not to run a choice set on Mamoswine and instead going with Icicle Crash, Earthquake, just the dual stab. It forces out a lot of things, kind of like what Dawson mentioned. This set, aside from the EV spreads, this was Dawson's idea. And then Stealth Rock and Toxic. I'm most likely going to be leading off with this set. I would anticipate that if he brings Rotom, he's either going to lead off with Rotom or Cinderace. And if that's the case, Thick Fat allows us to live a Pyro Ball from Cinderace, and the Pasho Berry is going to allow us to take a Hydro Pump from Rotom Wash. My goal is to set up Stealth Rocks right away, just to kind of punish his momentum. Last game he used a lot of U-turn, a lot of Volt Switch, and it just kind of wore me down a little bit and got it to where some of his other Pokemon could clean me up. Alluding to more kind of working off what I talked about with Mew, if I'm able to get Stealth Rocks up and maybe Toxic a couple of switches that aren't Gliscor, that'll really open up the door for Mew to sweep late game. And Icicle Crash, Earthquake, it threatens his entire team so well. I think it hits super effectively for about half of his team, and even things that resist it don't necessarily want to take him. So he can hit everything either super effectively or neutrally, and he's going to hit them hard. So we're going enough speed EVs with the Jolly Nature to outspeed Klefki and putting the rest into defense after going max attack. This is mainly going to be my Muck answer, and we're just, like I said, we're just trying to chip things down a little bit and force things out and open the door for Mew late game. Next up, we have Fluffy holding a Choice Scarf. Now, I mentioned last time I had two choice users, and Fluffy was one of them. He was a Choice Scarf in the last game, and the other choice in the last game was Mamoswine with a Choice Band. We're going to stick with a Choice Scarf on Fluffy in this one. I think being able to outspeed everything on his team with something is huge. Just out of the gates without having to do any kind of setup. And so we're going to run a pretty standard set. We're going to run Draco Meteor, Dark Pulse, Earth Power, and U-turn. U-turn is there just to give us a little momentum in case we bring Fluffy in on something that's I don't necessarily want to take a hit. I'll just get him out of there and get a little chip in the process. Other than that, Draco Meteor, aside from the 3 fairies that he has in his team, is going to hit hella hard to anything except for Muck holding an Assault Vest. So Draco Meteor's there just to kind of nuke things when I can. I'm not likely going to be hitting Draco Meteor unless Klefki, Clefairy, or Mega DNC are out of the field of play. What I mean by that is, I've taken them out already. However, it's there. It does a massive amount to Rotom, and Rotom is kind of his defensive switch into a lot of my threats. So the sooner I can get rid of Rotom, the better, or at least get some kind of chip on him so that Mew can come in and finish him off with Leaf Blade. That's what I'm hoping for. And then Dark Pulse and Earth Power. Dark Pulse is just neutral stab. It's going to hit a lot of things pretty hard. And Earth Power is there to threaten things like Muck, Klefki, Cinderace, Mega DNC, things that don't have Levitate or aren't flying. Earth Power is going to be hitting them a lot. It's kind of, latching onto the same thing in Mamoswine. He hits, between ice and ground, his team does not appreciate any of those. So just the more ground, the better, I think, in this matchup. As you saw, Earthquake on Mew, Earthquake on Mamoswine, and now Earth Power on Hydreigon. I'm looking to kind of just hit things as hard as I can when I can, and I think the last matchup I took a little bit of a passive approach, just trying to maneuver a little bit too much, and so I'm going to try to just deal as much damage as I can in the process, just constantly chipping things down, and then find the right time to set up with Mew and finish the game off. We're going to go with a timid 236 speed EVs, and what that does is it allows us to outspeed a modest max speed Scarfed Latias. I think that's kind of what we game planned last time, and it worked out pretty well. He didn't bring a Scarf last game, however, if he does, just being able to outspeed Latias and take it out right away, just erase it from the game with a Draco Meteor, if it's not Scarf, that's very, very valuable for our team. So that's the Hydreigon set. And moving on to the next Pokemon, we have Scizor. Runs with Scizors, holding a Leftovers with the Technician ability. I don't think I liked my Scizor set last time. It was just kind of there, and when I went back and watched the battle, I didn't really use it as much as I wish I would have. It kind of, it's a good defensive check for a lot of his team, and what this set allows us to do is that this Scizor can 1v1 a Latias outright. The 252 HP EVs and the plus special defense nature with 136 EVs allows us to live a Mystical Fire with about 94 HP left, and then we can OHKO it the next turn, or we can knock it out the next turn with a Bullet Punch. And even if we catch a Latias on the switch, and U-turn is going to be doing close, between 60 and 80%. So Scizor is very strong against this team, and Bullet Punch, as long as Scizor is around in the game, Mega Diancie can't come in. Bullet Punch just knocks it out outright, and Bullet Punch just kind of hits everything pretty hard, regardless. I think the least it does is maybe 20% to Cinderace, but I mean, again, that's a resisted steel attack coming from Scizor. I mean, just having that kind of priority and that power off that is really valuable this week. But we're going to go with Dual Stab, Bullet Punch, and U-turn. U-turn is there just for momentum. We're going to run Knockoff just to see if we knock some things off on the switch-in, and just kind of getting a feel for what items they were carrying might give us a little more information as to what set to kind of expect or what moves we can expect on them. So we're always trying to get as much information as we possibly can, and Knockoff, being able to remove their items and get a little bit more information is very helpful. And then Roost, just to, if he brings Muck, that's fine. Scizor will be able to, U-turn and get out of there. This set will live a Fire Punch from Muck with it'll take about 75%, but anything that's slower than him, he'll be able to Roost up, or he resists like Kangaskhan or Poliwrath or Clefairy or Eldegoss. He'll be able to Roost up and gain some health back and switch out and U-turn and get out of there and bring something else in. So we want to Roost just to be able to keep some longevity with Scizor, because he's probably going to be our biggest switch-in for a lot of stuff. This set also allows us to take less than 40% max from Rotom Wash with a Hydro Pump, so that is very big. Nothing to sneeze at there. So Rotom Wash, we can bring Scizor in and just Roost up and get our health back and kind of slowly bring it up a little bit. Granted, we might be a little opening ourselves up to a Will-O-Wisp at that point, but that might not be the worst thing in the world, just because Bullet Punch is still going to do a lot to make a Diancie, even if he has a cut attacks with a burn. So really just want to use Scizor as a slow pivoter, bring him in, knock things off, have it be a threat for Bullet Punch, and be able to Roost to live longer throughout the match. Next up, we have Kubota holding Leftovers with the Levitate ability. We have 248 HP in Rotom. That's kind of standard. What it does is it gives us an odd amount of HP, so that way if something would typically do 50%, it allows us to, which normally would 2-hit KO. Having an odd HP allows us to live at 51%, so it turns into a 3-hit KO. In case you guys didn't know that. So that's the reason why a lot of Rotoms run 248 HP versus 252. It's just to have that odd HP stat. We're running a Timid Nature with 128 speed EVs, and what that does is it allows us to outspeed a max speed Jolly Poliwrath. And Leaf Storm or Volt Switch is going to be hitting doing that for a lot of damage. I could see him bringing Poliwrath and having it be Water Absorbed. Or he could even be bringing Klefki and Poliwrath, and do Rain Dance with a Swift Swim on Poliwrath, just to threaten a lot of my stuff. Poliwrath does have a lot of good coverage against me, and Ice Punch, Close Combat, Liquidation, Drain Punch. So it's not something that I don't want to forget about in my prep. So, and all those attacks that Poliwrath could have, Ice Punch, the most it can do to Kubota with the spread is 52. or close to 50%, a little bit over that. So Leaf Storm's still going to knock him out outright, and Volt Switch is still going to do a lot of damage to him and allow me to bring in something else. So last game we had Will-O-Wisp on Rotom instead of Thunder Wave, and going back and watching the footage on that game, I did not like that. The reason being is, the obvious solution for Rotom here is his Cinderace, and that actually happened last game when we went for a Will-O-Wisp, and it just gave him a free switch into Cinderace. I don't want to allow that. Cinderace being the fastest Pokemon on his team kind of threatens me a lot with U-Turn and the threat of Sucker Punch. So if I can get him, if I can cut his speed down with a Thunder Wave, I think that would be huge. So ultimately, that's the real reason why I'm running Thunder Wave this week instead of Will-O-Wisp. And Defog is there just to, if he gets a Brox with Gliscor, or Toxic Spikes or something, or Spikes from Klefki, or if they have screens up from Klefki, Defog will remove those and get him out of the field of play. And that's the Rotom set. I'm really looking forward to using this Rotom set. I think it's going to put in a lot of work for me. I think just being able to threaten things with Thunder Wave, I like that a lot. And I'm looking to paralyze definitely that Cinderace. Last Pokemon on the team is Wrath with Blastoise tonight with the Mega Launcher ability. We go with max HP here. I think it's kind of standard for us to run, and what that does is just, he's just got great natural bulk with 120 defense and 115 special defense. Just having that max HP, he's a tank, and you don't really need a whole lot of special attack investment just because of that Mega Launcher ability. So it kind of allows you to just, build him out to be a solid threat that's just kind of hard to move. And after the HP EVs, we're going 136 speed EVs with a timid nature. This is very different from what I've typically run. I've usually gone with a modest max HP, max special attack, just to do as much damage as possible. However, this week, we're going to try to catch him off guard a little bit with a timid 136 speed. And what that does is at 248 speed EVs, after one rapid spin, this Blastoise will outspeed a Jolly max speed Cinderace. And Water Pulse, Dark Pulse is going to do a lot of damage to everything, and we're running Earthquake. Even though we're at minus attack nature, Earthquake is still going to be able to deal 40% to Muck. So if he does bring Muck, it doesn't just simply wall this set. And, Rapid Spin, aside from giving us the speed boost, will allow us to remove some of his hazards without removing our own. And so that's the team for this week for our quarterfinals matchup against the Clutch City Cacturns. I'm nervous. I'm hoping that things kind of go our way this time. They didn't work out so well last game, but, it's kind of hard to beat the same coach twice sometimes, So I'm excited, I'm nervous, and I'm looking forward to possibly winning this one and going on to play the 1 seed in these semis. So I will see you guys in the battle. Hey, what's going on, guys? We got BaLLHaWK here, and here we are with our quarterfinal matchup against Astrius, coach of the Clutch City Cacturns, and that's kind of basically what I thought he was going to bring. So let's wish him luck. Let's get this link posted here, and looks like you already did. All right. Well, so looking at his team, so he didn't bring Gliscor, he didn't bring Muck. It's kind of nice. I expect him to go with a little bit of a screens game here. And alright, let's see here. I think I'm just going to stick to the plan that I had. I still think Mew is in a great position to sweep his team after a little bit of chip has been done. So I think I'm going to lead off Mamoswine here and go for Stealth Rocks right away. I think that's the plan. And so yeah, I think both Blastoise and Mew are in a great spot to do a lot of damage to him. The fact that he's got 2 fairies, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do too many Draco Meteors in this game. However, that's not necessarily a bad thing. There's only 2 Pokemon that resist Earth Power. I think Rotom and Mew can get rid of his Rotom Wash for me, and at that point, I think that kind of opens the door a lot for things like Blastoise. Kangaskhan might be a bit of an issue. I'm sure he's probably got Power Up Punch and some other physical moves that could do a lot of damage. I know Hydreigon isn't going to appreciate that. He might have Fire Punch on there for Scizor and Rotom Wash. If he doesn't, I have to be careful of that. I didn't bring Aura Sphere. Now I'm kind of wishing that I would have. Okay, so here comes Klefki. So I think here, I wouldn't put it past him to maybe have something like Crafty Shield or something like that. if I can get, you know, some solid damage off on Klefki, I think I want to go for that. I think I just want to get some damage off right away. Okay. Yep. So now, last game, when I was in this position, he opted for a Volt Switch in the face of Mamoswine. I bet you he does the same thing again. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go Stealth Rock, thinking he's going to Volt Switch. Give me free rocks, and then I'll be able to switch out to my Rotom. He's not going to be able to knock me out here with the Passion Berry. Volt Switch? Oh, he goes for Toxic. Okay. Dang. Interesting, and we're faster than it. So you know what? I think let's just go for our own Toxic here. Alright. So now at this point, I think we just go out to Scizor. And now we can start pivoting around. Klefki, his Klefki is going to be able to get rid of our rocks. So I don't necessarily want to let that happen. Yeah. Alright, we eat that up. Leftovers. And now let's just go for a U-turn and get ourselves in a good position. Let's see what it brings out. If it brings out Klefki, I don't know if I go. I'm not sure if I want to go with Mamoswine again, or if I don't. It's way too early for me at this point. I don't want it to Thunder Wave me, so I think what I might do is I'll just go out to my Rotom and go for a Thunder Wave. And then after that I can Volt Switch out to something. So, right, I bet you either goes for Screens or Defog here. Yep, okay, there's his Light Screen. Alright. Let's see, do we want to Volt Switch? Yeah, let's Volt Switch out. And let's go to, let's see here. Man, I really don't want to get Thunder Wave by him. So he's got Light Screen, Reflect. Let's just go out to Mamoswine. And from there we could double out into Rotom. Because, again, I kind of want to keep Mamoswine around a little bit longer, because again, he threatens this team a lot, and I don't want to necessarily lose my shot at losing rocks. He's probably got Light Clay, so I'm just going to pivot back out to Rotom here. Okay. So at this point, I think I have to just get rid of everything. Yep. And now we are going to go for a Volt Switch here. Okay, so he's... Okay. Let's go Fluffy here, and then... let's just double back out to Kubota again. I don't want to risk a Thunder Wave coming from Klefki yet. And I bet he just sits here and he gets this other layer of screens up. The fact that he's not Leftovers, I think we can assume that he's Light Clay. I love that we already have Klefki down, close to 50% here. With Klefki out of the way, I think that's where a lot of his bulk is gonna come from. Is just his screens. I think that's what he's planning on. So just kind of being able to slowly chip down his Klefki here is kind of big, and that's awesome that we know that we're faster than his Rotom with Mamoswine. That means he's probably just max HP and max, he's probably max special attack. Okay. So now. I'm gonna go for another Thunder Wave here. Mystical Fire doesn't knock us out. No, perfect. Don't miss, don't miss. Nice. Alright. So now we're gonna Volt Switch out. And we're just gonna head into Wrath. Alright, now we Mega Evolve and 248 speed. How fast is Klefki? 273, but we're faster than with Kubota. Oh, once we Mega Evolve, we're going to be faster than Klefki anyway. I forgot about that. We did game plan for that, so I think I kind of want to just go for a rapid spin here and get our speed boost and make sure that we're faster than anything that he brings in. Oh, I forgot about the forgot about that. I wonder how much Dark Pulse does here still. Okay. Were we faster than his Rotom Wash? I don't remember. I don't think we were. No. Let's see here. I kind of want to go out to Mamoswine right here, anticipating the Volt Switch. And what that would allow us to do is allow us to get our rocks back up. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Yeah, we're getting a little bit of chip on his Rotom as well if he wants to stay in next to the Toxic. So let's get our rocks back up. And at this point, I think I want to. I think I just want to knock it off, get rid of his light clay, and then what I can do after that is I can roost up. Nice. Yep. Okay. Let's just roost. And let's go for a Bullet Punch and see how much that does. Okay. So he gets this another layer spikes up. Let's just go for another Bullet Punch and see if we can not take out the Klefki. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so no more screens this game. It's a little bit unfortunate that he's got his spikes up. However, you know, we have 2 Levitate users and the rest of the team doesn't really care about that too much. So, from here, see here, Rotom Wash, or Scizor is still really good for DNC, Latios, and Rotom yet. And, you know, we're in a phenomenal position right now. This is kind of the last roadblock in our way. If we can figure out how to deal with this guy. Oh, we know he's not heavy duty boots. I bet you, I could see him being choice banded. And if that's the case, I think I still want us to switch into Raphael here. The fact that he's choice banded, that really, you know, we're not going to be able to set up on Mew against him. But although if he's locked into a fighting move, that would be just fine with me. So let's go for a Water Pulse. Okay, he's not choiced, or he's not choiced, okay. So you know what, I think at this point, but, I think we had to just go for what item does he have? Maybe it's an Expert Belt? It's not Life Orb. Um, I don't want to go out to Mew right away, knowing that he's not choiced, because although if he has Sucker Punch, actually this might be where I go Mew. I think I'm gonna go Mew. Yeah, I think I go Mew here. Okay, let's get our Dragon Dance up. He's probably got Sucker Punch, and if he has Sucker Punch, then that would be phenomenal for us, because what that means is that it's going to be a free Dragon Dance right now. Okay. Even yet, I think we still live a Sucker Punch. So, with our Koba Berry. No! Oh! Oh, dang, those spikes. Those spikes were just destroyed Mew this week. Ugh. I am sorry, Mew. You deserve so much better. That puts us in a really awkward spot now. I don't think we have a choice other than to go with Fluffy here. Dang. Yeah, I think we gotta go U-turn. The fact that he's dark right now. I'll bring Scizor out. Hopefully he doesn't go for a Pyro Ball. And I don't think this is gonna KO him. We might be dead in the water here. Losing Mew like that, we probably just lost outright. Oh, that sucks so much. Yeah, I don't think Bullet Punch is doing enough here. See, what's the only? How can we still win here? A Pyro Ball is probably his safest play right here. That or just going for another high jump kick. Although, I mean, high jump kick, there's a risk to miss, and he doesn't really need it. Maybe a U-turn is probably his safest play. If he goes for U-turn, I don't know if Fluffy survives that. I don't know if we have any other choice though, because Scizor still wins against DNC, and Kubota still wins against, Scizor still wins against DNC and Latias. And just a little more chip on Scizor, or on his Cinderace, and Scizor wins against him. So I think I'm forced to go into Fluffy here. I think that's my only win con at this point. I need to preserve Scizor in order to be able to take out, so I don't just lose to things like DNC. Oh, perfect. Nice. Okay. Now, I think my play at this point I know U-turn's not going to win it, or not going to knock him out. And he knows I'm scarfed at this point because we outsped him last time when he went for a high jump kick. So I think here the play is, we're choice locked, so my bet is he's gonna read that and he's gonna go out to DNC to expect the incoming Draco Meteor. If he does that, man, losing Mew like that just put us in such a big hole here. I don't know if we're gonna be able to climb out. I think I have to Draco, because U-turn's not gonna do enough to knock him out because he's resisting it with Fighting type right now, and we're faster than him. He's not gonna Sucker Punch because if he does that, we're gonna resist it, and U-turn would knock him out at that point. Earth Power is a little risky with 2 Levitate users. Draco Meteor, I don't think Dark Pulse knocks him out either, and then he can just high jump kick us to win at that point. I think I need a Draco. Alright. So now at this point, what we just afforded ourselves is the ability to U-turn later on here, and Draco Meteor can still, Fluffy can still take out his Rotom with Dark Pulse. If I can remove his Diancie, I can win because he's going to be taking in 25%. Yeah, I think I need to preserve Fluffy here, because if I can just fire off Dark Pulses, I think I can still win. So I'm gonna switch out to Cody here. This isn't quite over yet. We're still in this. Yeah, Scizor is still in a great spot for me against him right now. Just the threat of Bullet Punches. I think Bullet Punch will knock out his Cinderace at this point after Stealth Rock's damage. Okay. So now, so at this point, I kind of want a Volt Switch and hope that that does enough. If I think Volt Switch knocks him out at this point. Although Leaf Storm might be the safer play. I think it probably is, because if we knock him out and he brings Cinderace back in, I think we just sack Rotom at that point. And anything else, Leaf Storm would still hit his Rotom Wash enough, and we could just Volt Switch at that point as well. Yeah, I think the safest play here is the Leaf Storm to make sure that we knock his Kangaskhan out, because if it's a Self Dust, I don't know that Volt Switch will do enough. Or he could just be faster. Okay. Well, okay. So now, again, Hydreigon and Scizor could still do this. But the question is, do I go with Scizor right now? No, I think the play is to U-turn here. Let's see here. Does my Scizor outspeed his Latias now? It might, unless it's Scarfed. I don't think we know if it's Scarfed or not. I'm just trying to look back to see if there's any indication what its item is. Because I don't want to leave it up to a 30% roll on a full para on his Latias, to make sure that we outspeed it later on. And in fact, I mean, if he's timid max speed, it probably doesn't matter anyway. Scizor isn't going to be able to outspeed it. I don't know that U-turn knocks out Kangaskhan at this point. I'm tempted to use Dark Pulse, but if he brings Diancie in right now, then that would just be game. I think I have to U-turn. and hope that this does enough. We have 221 attack, maybe something to sneeze at. Man, if we had Mew still, this game would be over. Oh, I can't believe that. I am kicking myself so hard that I just gave him Mew. Mew had the answer. No, it doesn't kill. Oh man, this might be game. I might not be able to come back from this now. Shoot. Yeah, we just lose now. Oh my goodness. This is heartbreaking, you know. Good game to him though. Those spikes were the difference maker in this game. You know, with the plan, I think the plan was solid coming into this matchup. Just didn't execute it correctly. I think I needed to switch out to Rotom Mo and get rid of these spikes one more time before I was able to bring in Mew and set up. That's unfortunate. We had all the pieces. Yeah, I don't have any choice here but to spam Dark Pulse. And he goes for the Toxic just to put me on a timer, which is smart. Right now, at this point, we're just saving differential. His DNC just wins right now because Dark Pulse isn't going to be able to do enough. Unless we get a crit flinch. No, that's good. Well, good game to Asterisk here in that one. He moves on and he faces the 1 seed. So our IPA season was cut short a little bit, but you know, these things happen. Ultimately, I had a lot of fun this season. It wasn't a lost season, I would say. The fact that we were able to start off, 1-4 and battle our way back to 6-4 or 7-4, and get the 4th seed for playoffs. I think that's something to hang your head on in its own right, not giving up when the season went bad. It's just so quick like that. Things I would have done differently is I need to slow down my play and be a little more patient. Especially like in this game showed, I definitely needed to play around a little more and get rid of those spikes to make sure that I could bring Mew in without taking any damage, and that way I could guarantee that I'd live Cinderace's attacks. But ultimately that was the difference maker in this game. This game is going to end in a 3-0 score, but I feel like it's a lot closer than that. And but ultimately, hats off to Asterisk. He played well. He had a solid game plan coming in. I knew that Klefki, I go back to the team builder, I had a feeling that he might bring Klefki, although I was leaning more towards Muck. I was aware that his screens and hazards from Klefki would be an issue, and having dual screens and spikes, that definitely was what made the difference for him in this matchup. So, good game to Asterisk, and I wish him the best of luck next week, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Feel free to leave a like, subscribe, helps me out if you made it this far, and thanks for watching. Peace.